Hello, Youth Commission. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for the Youth Government Summit. So this event is our fourth year, and for those of you who are new to the Commission, we bring speakers to you in the realm of local government, nonprofit, cultural arts, and environmental sustainability. And so just to review today, this is classified as a special meeting. So we are just going to be asking our speakers questions, and we have like a small presentation for you in terms of the questions from our February meeting. So we're going to go ahead and share a PowerPoint screen with you right now. So our three speakers this evening, as you guys are aware, are Karen Fair, Malibu City Council member, Julia Holland, Cultural Arts Commissioner, and Brian Sousa with the Santa Monica Boys and Girls Club. So our first speaker this evening will be Councilmember Fair. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next slide. And Karen, go ahead and unmute yourself. And one more slide, Brittany. And I'll let her introduce herself. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for asking me to participate. My name is Karen Fair. I am a council member. I was elected in November of 2018, 3 days before the Woolsey fire. I serve on several committees within the city. I serve on the library committee, I serve on the School District Separation Ad Hoc Committee. I serve on the Council Policies Review Ad Hoc Committee. I'm a member of the California League of Cities, the Las Virgenes Malibu Council of Government. And I think that's everything there.
Next slide, Brittany. So one of the questions that the commission had for you, Karen, was what do you enjoy most about being a city council member?
Well, I think the thing I enjoy most is the opportunity to serve my community and to try to affect positive change.
Great. Brittany, next slide, please. And what steps did you take to enter local government?
I have to say this with a smile. It was a long and gradual path, and it was definitely not one that began with running for public office in mind. When I decided to run for city council in 2018, it was after having volunteered in the community for 27 years. And almost all of that was in the area of our local schools and our school district.
And if you can describe to the Youth Commission, what are some of your day-to-day responsibilities?
Day-to-day responsibilities. Well, there I am with a hard hat on, but that's not what I do most of the time. That was a groundbreaking ceremony there. I would say no 2 days are alike for me. I'm sure everybody could say that, but mine vary wildly. I consider myself on call 24/7. I'm always checking my email. I'm always answering phone calls, calling people back. I do have a fair amount of reading to do every week, just to prepare for council meetings, to do research on things that either the city's already working on or things that I think we might want to consider as a council. And I often act as a liaison between people and groups, trying to direct people to the proper person to help either at the city or in an outside agency.
Great, thank you. Next slide, Brittany. What is the city project that you are the most proud of being a part of and why?
I would say it's the city's response to the Woolsey fire. And it's still ongoing. We are working through house by house and financial issue by financial issue, but we have worked really hard as a city to try to help the community rebuild from what you probably know is the largest fire in the history of Los Angeles County.
And Brittany, if you can go to the next slide. Councilmember Fair, did you just want to expand on the community gathering at Zuma Beach and some of the rebuilds?
The community gathering at Zuma Beach, the 1 year anniversary, Yeah, the 1-year anniversary of the Woolsey fire was really a huge community event. Probably some of the students in the Youth Commission participated. The Malibu High Choir sang. There were other musical performances, poetry readings, just a way for the community to come together and commemorate what we had all been through. And the city provided some things to try to help people deal with unexpected events in the future, such as battery operated radios, native plants to plant in their gardens, and other literature to just keep people informed. We worked with the fire department, the LA County sheriffs, and just try to help this community put itself back together and move forward.
Great, thank you. Next slide, Brittany. Chair Foster, I'll let you go ahead and unmute yourself, and then just one by one, you can go ahead and ask these last questions for Councilmember Fair.
Awesome. Okay. What advice would you give to Malibu youth who want to be involved in advocacy?
Thank you, Mia. I would say the first thing I would advise is to stop and think about your values, the things going on in the world that bother you, the things that you think are good that are already happening, things that inspire you, and figure out where you can get involved. If there's not something already happening that you want to get involved in, you might want to think about creating it yourself and asking other people to join you. I encourage you to be proactive. There will oftentimes be groups or things, phenomenon already happening that you want to be a part of, but if there's not, don't be afraid to do that yourself.
Awesome, thank you. And then what types of programs or campaigns have you implemented that helped spark youth involvement?
I would say the number one thing since I've been elected was both the temporary and the permanent skate park. It really was, I have to say, one of the more fun moments of being on the council, seeing so many kids and their parents show up with their skateboards and coming and, sitting at city council and one by one getting up and speaking and advocating for something that had been lacking here for many years. We hadn't had a skate park since the previous one closed. It must have been 10 or 15 years ago. And that's something that we were able to deliver on. I'm really happy about that. The temporary skate park is up and running, you probably know, and the permanent skate park will be coming along in the next, I believe, year or two.
Thank you so much. If any other commissioners have a question for Councilmember Fair, if you can use the raise your hand feature. Right. Awesome. All right, Karen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. I know you have cities. If you need to sign off at any time, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right, and then we're going to go ahead and segue to our next speaker. And Brittany, go ahead.
Okay, Julia is part of our Cultural Arts Commission. Julia, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
Sorry about that. Yes, thank you. For a second, I got a glimpse at the Youth Commission there, and I think I recognized a few people on there, so that was awesome, but everyone went away. But anyway, my name is Julia Holland, and I've been around for, well, many years. And as it says there, I founded the Eco Hero Kids. That's a environmental foundation. The Malibu Glee Club, yes, actually that's not happening now, but Malibu Playhouse, yeah, I had served on that for many, many years, probably 9 years as both in every single role. And music educator, I teach music, and I just saw one of my someone I taught piano to there, somewhere on that screen, piano and voice and songwriting. And so I have a studio here that I do that. and yeah, and I'm an actress and singer, and have been just involved in the city. So that's it.
Awesome, thank you. What do you enjoy most about serving on the Cultural Arts Commission?
Well, okay, so it's really amazing, really gratifying to serve on a commission that promotes arts in the community. And that's all forms of arts, like visual art, music, dance, theater, film, more. And it's really what pulls a community together, that art. And I think you might have put this on the slide. So, studies show that really art is what defines a community. So if you think of communities, it's really important in every city to have this kind of activity. New York City has, you think of Broadway. New Orleans, you think of, jazz and the festivals. Los Angeles, you think of Hollywood, you think of, the movie industry. And there's even smaller towns like Laguna Beach they have a big arts community, but it just kind of gives you the flavor of what the community is. And let's see. Okay, no, can I continue on that a little bit?
On enjoying the most about Cultural Arts Commission or impacting?
No, I was just going to say that, it just creates pride, and it's like, I think the cultural arts, having cultural arts in a community really just makes it more, that's what I was looking for. Creates pride. It's like going to school and wearing your pride clothes. And so it helps people identify with your community, helps the community gatherings help relieve stress. I'm sure we all know that now when everyone's online, but you just want to get together in a movie theater or get together and celebrate each other. And arts crosses over political borders, and age gaps and fundamental differences, and binds communities together like glue. And you think of some of the events that we've had here, the summer concerts at the Vintage Market or the Chili Cook-Off, and I'm sure everyone thinks about that. The Guitar Festival, Chumash Day, all the shows at the Malibu Playhouse or the MHS productions or the arts festivals, all those things, it just defines our community, right? It makes us like, this is a thing that we get together, just binds us together. So it's super important to have, be on the commission that, our job is just to bring beauty and fun to our community. So that's what I love about it.
Also for our youth commission, Julia is also on our ad hoc committee for putting on exhibits within the city hall.
Mm-hmm.
Julia, which one of those that we've put on since you've been part of the commission was your favorite?
Well, I would say the event after the Woolsey fire, because I came on right then. I was appointed to this commission by Karen Ferris. So that's how I got here. And so we started at the same time, and that was right after the fire. And there was an exhibit that had already been established, the City Hall exhibit. So instead of just having one artist, we decided, let's just open it up to the community and have everyone bring their ideas and their art together. And it was just very beautiful because it was a good opportunity for the residents to come together for the first time since the fire had started. And there were artists who were inspired to paint, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to express yourself. So that was the very first time I think that everyone had gotten together after such a horrific event. And it was just beautiful, and people were loving on each other, and it's a wonderful thing. So, but there's been other programs that are amazing too. The Poet Laureate program, of course, and the arts and the education. So we're just trying to reach out all those places and help bring. We have such talent in this community. So that's our job, to try to help inspire that, and bring it all out.
So our Vice Chair, Sophia O'Brien, has a couple of additional questions
All right.
to ask. I think she might be frozen, so I'll go ahead and ask her for her. How can the youth incorporate cultural arts and advocacy together?
Okay. Well, okay, so cultural arts and advocacy are just, it's a natural pairing, right? Because our art is communication. So it expresses opinions and points of view and feelings and experiences. And art just can influence thoughts and establish trends, and it can inform people, it can startle people, it can make people think and inspire people. So it can just bring about social change and awareness. So advocacy and the arts lives together perfectly. And if you think about and that's all of the arts too, right? You think of artists like Banksy, he's very famous, he has big political statements, or people who want to bring things to life in theater about social injustice, or there's been theater about AIDS crisis, or there was a beautiful play about the curious incident of the dog in the night about autism. So all these things, and of course music, music is all in the forefront, brings all those ideas. And it's just like, that's what people can use to advocate and express their own opinions in a non-judgmental way. So people accept that and listen to that. It works hand in hand. And I think that youth can do that. Just as the Karen says, take an idea, act on it, express it, write about it, and hopefully the city, we can help, have create places to even express that more. But create, write. This is the youth of today. It's important to bring those ideas. You have the ideas, and you need to share them with us. And so people like us can go, right, I could see how we need to help here.
What types of programs have you implemented that sparked youth activism through environmental sustainability?
Okay, well, that is my main focus, has been to reach the very younger generations. And since I've been a theater director and musician, and I brought all the things that I love, music and the environment and children, and I just synergistically threw them together and created the Eco Hero Kids Foundation. And that's just been bringing kids and with same thing, expressing themselves, learning about the environment and inspiring them, and with theater and music and art and and classroom activities. And that's been my main thing about environmental sustainability. We focus on younger kids, 8 to 11 years old, because that's the middle childhood age where kids become very capable and taking on complex ideas. But I do think it's so important for teens your age to be able to be that person to help inspire those. So your voice is so important, and children that I'm working with look up to teens so much. So it's just a really important and super important thing. And I'm taking it further, and I've created a curriculum and to reach mainstream schools and theater project, and an online community and platform. And so it's really wonderful. And actually in my program, I do need teen mentors. So at some point I may be reaching out and say, will you mentor a younger child, in this about environmental sustainability? So that's my response to environmental situation through my art and music. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Julia. For
Thank
any
you.
of our commissioners, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Holland?
Is anyone doing working? Is anyone working, doing something in artistically like that? And first of all, I also want to just commend you all for taking on this job, because it's really an important job to be of service, and being on a commission like I am and like you are, it's us being of service and trying to do more for our community. So I really I commend you all for taking that step and doing that. It's very important. So, any questions, comments? Okay.
I don't think so. So thank you, Julia, so much for joining us tonight. You're more than welcome to stay with us while Brian presents, if you'd like.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
So next up, we have Brian Sousa with the Santa Monica Boys and Girls Club. He is the Director of Operations. So Brian, you can take it away.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here. And youth, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. I know everyone is so burnt out with, being on Zoom and online, and we wish so much to be together, but I'm really happy to have this forum to speak with you and meet with you. And I think Julia said it best, right? What's so powerful about this event and everybody together is we all have an interest in service, right? We're all here for a common cause and looking forward to what we can do for you others, right? And not looking at personal interests. So really commend you all for that. But my name is Brian Sousa. I'm the Director of Operations and Partnerships for the Boys and Girls Club here in Santa Monica. We are a national organization. There's over 4,000 Boys and Girls Clubs across the country. So we are one of those 4,000. And what I do here at the Boys and Girls Club is I have a variety of roles. So when you work in the nonprofit world, they like to say you wear many hats. And that's certainly true for me. I do a little bit of everything, but most of my focus is on the administrative services side of things. So back-end works. I do a lot around, budgeting, community outreach, I manage all of our corporate partnerships and program partnerships. I develop relationships with local stakeholders and bring in new donors. I help with board management, as well as bringing in sponsorships for our programs and our organization to be sustainable for many years to come, as well as oversee 5 locations, 5 facilities within the Santa Monica umbrella. And a big aspect of my job that really interests me the most is the staff development piece. So that's dealing with training and staff development, personal and professional development. So I get the opportunity to train staff on a variety of topics that will help build them in their career endeavors and help them be the strongest, most capable and efficient and effective staff member possible. And it's good because a lot of our staff development opportunities that we develop here at our club are hard skills that they can take on to their next career endeavor. We're always looking to help our employees with career advancements. So it's really cool opportunity that I have to help others learn and do more.
Next slide, Brittany. So you mentioned it a little bit, but the commission wanted you to expand on what are your day-to-day responsibilities?
Yeah, so day to day, so I do a lot around. So my day starts and I check emails constantly. We do a lot of checking the emails, but I make sure our program is in alignment. So we actually are open. 2 of our facilities have been open since September, offering in-person services and academic support for distance learning students. So I make sure that our team is prepared every day, that we're providing a safe environment for our participants, our kids, and our staff members. So I uphold a lot of our safety initiatives and guidelines and protocols. I communicate daily with, like I said, stakeholders. I check in with various partners and plan special events and other virtual engagement opportunities similar to this, where we get our corporate donors on virtual Zoom with kids, and we run different activities and things around that. A lot around 21st century workforce development. We do a lot around STEM education, arts and learning, etc. And I also do, it's a lot of planning and prep work, really back end work. So looking at our year, forecasting what program expenses that we're going to be needing, planning what programs we're going to align on particular calendar years. So we run our programming on the 4 calendar seasons like we do annually: spring, summer, fall, and winter. So we look ahead, like right now I'm currently planning summer programming. So what that is going to look like. This year has brought challenges, right, in that because our climate is shifting all the time. The counties, we're open and we're closed, and then we have certain requirements, parameters. We don't really know what summer is going to look like, with mass vaccinations rolling out. We're trending in the positive direction right now. So it's really a lot of planning and logistical work, as well as managing and supervising staff issues. Things do arise with staff or with members or with parents. So, doing a lot of conflict resolution, de-escalating, as well as, outreaching and looking at new partnerships. What other vendors can we bring in to improve our program and our quality of our program? Outsourcing new donors and fundraising and things that nature. We had a $5 million operating budget the year before COVID struck. So that's a lot of money we have to raise annually as a nonprofit. You're responsible for all that money, especially for one like ours, that we are not a fee-based program. It is $20 a year to come join our program. That's it. And that includes all programs. So it's less than a penny a day for the kids. So in order for us to have those quality services and programs, I got to go chase the money for them. So that's a lot what I do daily.
Thank you. Next slide. The commission would also like to know, what do you enjoy most about working for a nonprofit?
Yeah, so I'm going to give a pretty cliche answer, as they say, but it's really truthful and it comes from the heart. I really love the fact that I have an opportunity to make an impact in youth lives on a daily basis. Youth development is such a huge part of our lives. And, even the youth on this call, you can say there was probably one individual or one adult, at least in your life, that helped shape who you are today. If that's anywhere between helping you pick you up when you're down, or help guiding you in the direction of, possible education path, college or career pathways, or helping you out with general soft and hard skills and life skills, learning how to communicate, learning about social competence, learning about how to, work well with others, and teaching you about team dynamics. So I really enjoy that aspect of the job. I like to, take these youth. We work with a lot of youth that are disadvantaged youth that come from low economic backgrounds, who really don't have the viable resources of other youth in the community in the West LA area. So it prides me in the fact that I can provide them the resources needed and the help needed to ensure that they stay on the right path and they have the same amount of opportunity as everybody else around them.
What steps did you take to enter your field?
Yeah, so I started volunteering in high school. So I got involved in high school as a camp counselor. I would volunteer 1 week in the summer and 1 week in the winter, and go up to the mountains in Big Bear and in the high Sierras in Mammoth, and volunteer as a camp counselor, taking care of kids and watching over them as they participate in outdoor recreation. So that's where I kind of figured out my niche, that like, hey, I actually enjoy this. This is kind of fun. And then I took a non-traditional approach to a career pathway, actually, where I started working full time and kind of bypassed college after high school. And then a few years after working full time, I really wanted to make career advancements and really wanted to make this my long-term goal, working in nonprofit and the recreation field. So I went back to school in my mid-20s and got my bachelor's degree. First, I got my AA at Santa Monica College, and then I transferred to Cal State Long Beach and got my bachelor's in recreation and leisure studies. And yeah, so I've been doing this for a few amount of years, and I guess I don't think I chose the field. I think the field chose me. I think I was really born and with a purpose and an intuition to work with kids. It's just something that comes natural.
So we have Commissioner Norby, and he's going to unmute himself and follow up with 2 questions.
Hello. First, what is a project or campaign where you help spark youth activism?
Yeah, great. Yeah, so it's a program really. So I helped develop a program here at our organization called Torch Club, which is a middle school driven service-based organization. So their focus is on civic engagements, learning civic responsibilities, and committing to community service. So what in that program we built, we first talked about the needs and wants of the community and how we can service the others. And then we started participating in monthly projects. Some of the projects that we've done was we partnered up with the LA Children's Bureau, which helps foster youth. And we've done some volunteerism at the center where our middle schoolers actually went and hung out and played with, some of the first and second graders and some of the elementary age students, running arts and crafts programs with them, doing some reading literacy programs with them, etc. And then we've done projects with the VA hospital. We've hosted like Valentine's Day dances with them. We've done Veterans Day projects with them. We did a little parade march. It was cool. We've worked with the Harvest Home, which helps homeless pregnant moms in getting them on their feet and stable. So we help provide children's blankets and other doing food donations and things like that, as well as we worked with Hilda Bay doing beach cleanups. So active monthly beach cleanups and restoring our community, because Santa Monica, the beach is right in our backyard. We got to take care of it and things of that nature. And we do a lot around homelessness as well, as it's prevalent in our community.
Thank you. And then the second question is, how can young people make a change in their community?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say first, figure out what change you want to see in your community. What really is around you that you feel like could use some extra attention and some support and needed, change. And then I will look at like a cause that interests you and drives passion out of you. Because if you're going to get involved with something, you want to be passionate. You want to have passion involved, because that's the only way you're going to really be committed to it. And then after that, I would research then in different initiatives or different organizations whose like mission and purpose is built around that cause. Because, they usually have the infrastructure in place to provide those opportunities and projects for you to just jump in. And then after that, I would say make sure that you also check with that organization, do some research, and make sure that their mission and values aligns with your values. I think that's always the easiest if you're like your core ethics and values align with what the company and organization is doing. And then you offer support. You get your hands dirty, you get in there, you commit the time to create the change. Personal initiative and dedication is really all it takes, right? You have to be driven to do the hard work and figure out what needs to change. And then you have to dedicate yourself to making sure that you don't walk away until change is seen. And actually, one of my favorite quotes I like to use at our organization comes from Gandhi, and it's the quote, it's heard everywhere, but, instead of sitting back and waiting for the world to change, step up and be the change you want to see in the world. And that's what it is. It's really, step up and be that force and that driving force, because, everybody needs a leader, right? Every organization, every change starts with somebody's leading it. Somebody gets an idea and they take charge and they say, I want to make this happen. And every leader And every good organization that has cause for change needs followers, and they need people to jump on board with them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Norby and Mr. Sousa. If any other commissioner has a question for any of our presenters, you can use the raise your hand feature and ask it now. I just want to say thank you to our speakers. That was great, wonderful information.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmember Fair, Julia Holland, and Brian Sousa for joining us for our first virtual Youth Government Summit. We appreciate you taking the time to answer all those questions from the youth of Malibu. And youth commissioners, we will see you for our meeting at 6 o'clock on the other Zoom link, okay? Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.